All right. Let's get the likes up. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We are live on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust myself. I hope everybody had an awesome week. And you know how we're going to start this off as always. It's your girl, Tina. I am the host of Bubbles and Flames. I'm glad you all could join me tonight. And I'm also a fellow maker. I am the founder and creator of a company called Nuts About Candles. So if you could do me a favor, let's get all the YouTube business out of the way. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you're watching me on the replay, go ahead and leave us some comments down below. You know how we do. We'll go ahead and answer you back as soon as I see it. If not me, of course, one of my mods will jump in and answer. But welcome. We're going to go ahead and kick this off. And I've got some comments already, which I absolutely love. And it is one of my mods, the Chandler's Rose. Hello. And we are talking about your subject tonight, and that is customer service. And I made it for makers, but it's really for small business because customer service is important. And as you all know, I'm pulling up my notes. So, I hope that everybody had an amazing week last week, and for everybody that had events that you all did well, or if you have events coming up, such as myself, that you have an abundance of customers as well, wherever you are at. If you are watching me on YouTube, I appreciate you coming back, and thanks for watching all the shorts. And one milestone announcement, it might not be big to you, but it's huge to me. I have had 1,000 views. So thank you to everybody who supports the channel and who is watching. Of course, you all know the fragrance issues. The fragrance episodes are the biggest ones and the favorite ones. But there's a couple other ones too that people actually like. So thank you for watching the channel. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you, the Chandler's Rose, as always. All right. So, tonight, what we are going to talk about is customer service and why it is especially important for small businesses. All right. So, when we think about customer service, there is good customer service, there's horrible customer service, and of course, there is amazing customer service. And it's important for us that have small businesses that we go above and beyond, right? We always have to go the extra mile because we are small businesses. And I wanted to say, if you are watching me also on TikTok, thank you for joining the family, and we hope that you'll come back soon. All right, so jumping into it. So, when we talk about customer service, whether you are a product based business or a service based business, that's one of the major aspects of your business. If you think about it, how you made or your company made that customer feel. All right. And a lot of times when you are a product based business, automatically customers are trying to figure out a way to get something free. And pretty much that's goes standard. How am I going to get around that? So the Chandler's Rose, she made a very good suggestion, and I'm just going to jump right into her suggestion first, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about the rest. And definitely jump in the comments for me. And for those of you that are on Instagram, I'm not going to be able to possibly not see your comments, but definitely know that I have people watching for me. All right. So we'll get to your comment. It might not be exactly in turn, but I'll jump in and answer it as soon as I can. All right. So, what Rose was saying from the Chandler's Rose is setting customer expectations. That's a big one. When you set your customer expectations up front, they typically know what to expect. And if something goes off the beaten path or off of your policy, just let them know. Keep them updated. And most customers overall, and I do say most, they will, they're usually flexible to work with you. And if it's a situation to where um, something is not going to work out in their timeline, they're a little bit more flexible because they already knew or know what to expect. Every business, it doesn't matter what type of business that you have outside of digital products, and even with digital products, sometimes you can run into a download issue. But we all have situations where we are either unable to meet deadlines due to suppliers, family illness. There's so many different things that we could talk about in relation to that. So when that happens, there's a couple different ways that you can handle it. Hey, Courtney, there's a couple different ways that you can handle it, and you want to make sure that you reach an agreement and preferably put it in writing. Even though you may know that person, I've had that with personal experience myself. You always want to make sure that you follow up in writing. All right, so that's definitely one of the main things, is to set the expectations up front. And if something changes on your end or the customer end, make sure that you have that open line of communication. Another way as a maker that you can set your expectations up front, and even though when we all have websites and we hate doing this, we hate setting it up, but these are the things that might come back and save us, and that is having your policies in place. It is essential that you have your terms, conditions, and your policies in place. If you look on every website, they should have their policies. Typically, they're at the bottom. Most people don't read them until they have to read them. So, if you, for example, if you're with Shopify, they have templates for that. Most of the big website providers have that. If you don't have your terms and conditions on the website, I strongly suggest that you add them as soon as possible. All right, so I just wanted to address those are some of the things, and we'll talk about some of the other things for customer service in terms of setting expectations. A lot of people, especially for makers, until you really get into the groove of your business, if you are doing a wholesale order, a white label order, or any type of large order, I cannot emphasize how important it is that you get some sort of deposit up front. Because if you are doing something custom and it cannot be sold to another customer, you are out that money. So I would recommend anywhere, and this we can get feedback from the audience, anywhere from 25 to 50%, depending upon what you're doing. For me personally, if it's a custom order, I get 50%. All right, and that is to cover my cost. And also don't forget to add in your labor. My personal candle brothers and sisters can tell you I'm infamous for always forgetting about adding in labor, and then if something happens, you're out your time as well as supplies. So definitely add that in writing, whether you know the person or not, to always cover yourself. All right, so that goes along with setting customer expectations. I wanted to start off with that, but here's a big one, just jumping into customer service. And of course, you all know I look at my notes. Another aspect to customer service, which this kind of all goes together with what Rose wanted us to talk about, how about being responsive? Social media makes it really easy for us as business owners. We now have automated messages that we can have respond for us. But make sure that you are responsive. Turn on an auto message that states what your policy is. We will get back to you within the next X number of hours, days, whatever the situation may be. I would strongly suggest, if possible, that you don't go over 48 hours unless it's an extreme situation, because people typically move on. Really, they move on in just a couple hours, but depending upon what the situation is, just let them know we will respond back to you within the next 24 to 48 hours. And of course, some people will wait for you because they want to do business with you. All right, so some other things, what that does, let me back up a little bit. By you being responsive, that gives value to your business, and it also shows your potential customers that you care. All right, especially if it was someone that was referred to you, the responsiveness is extremely important, even if it's just an email, text, etc. Some sort of acknowledgement. That is a pet peeve for me. I'm a huge customer service person, and I'm gonna give you an example that all of us, I'm sure, have had this happen. You go in a store, first of all, nobody greets you. That's number one. And then number two, if you're waiting for assistance, again, you're not acknowledged, you're not greeted, you don't exist. And me, I am famous for turning around and walking out. I don't have the patience for it. And unless it's busy, you must not want my money. All right. So especially at events, make sure that you acknowledge everyone if you are at an event. That is very important. All right. The next thing, be helpful. You have a lot of customers, especially in our area, whether it's candle making, soap, body oil, room sprays, whatever. We have to educate our customers. We assume that customers know what they want, and you can easily work in an upsell if you go, "Hey, my name is Tina. What brings you by today? What are you looking for? What are you interested in?" Because a lot of times they don't know what they want. They have an idea, but they don't know. Or maybe somebody told them about some of the things that you do. They're walking by a window, they're walking by your booth, and they're looking at one thing, but you totally convince them, and you do an upsell, of course, for them to get something else. It happens at Walmart all the time, for example, right? We go in there only planning to get one item and we come out with 50. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You want that same type of feeling, and you want them to have that type of response for your products. All right? So be responsive, be helpful, and how about just being professional and of course being friendly? Nobody wants to walk up to somebody that is literally like this. "Can I help you?" All right, and you know how it goes. It's all about energy, and our business is definitely about energy and vibes right now. So I wouldn't want to go up to someone that is standing there with their arms crossed. "What do you want? How can I help you?" "Up, turn around, I'm good, I'll figure it out." And especially now that we have other avenues and choices, it's not like it used to be when we were all growing up where you had to deal with what you had to deal with. Now we have options. And there's a big option called Amazon, and they will gladly take your customers' money. All right. So that's one thing. You always want to be professional no matter what. No matter what. And it used to be, and yes, I said used to be, that the customer was always right. Nowadays, that's not necessarily the case. It really just depends on what the situation is, but come to an amicable agreement. Hello, Abba. Welcome, welcome. All right. So we've talked about four things, but how about this? How many of you all are procrastinators? I'm guilty of that. It depends on what it is, but I actually work best under pressure. So, yes, it's procrastination, but sometimes I do it to myself because I always perform better under pressure. But if you are a procrastinator and if things give you anxiety, just make sure that you manage that procrastination. That is something that I am working on this year. But I actually love doing the last minute stuff because it gives me that edge. All right. Abba says she is guilty as well. So that made me feel better. And actually, a lot of people in the candle soap making and even the beauty industry, and it really doesn't even have to be those industries, but we all start preparing at the last minute. I have a huge event in October. I really should be preparing now, but of course I'm not. But I will start next month though, because I do have a lot that I have to get ready. All right. All right. So be proactive. So we've talked about this. We need to be responsive. Of course, we need to be professional. We need to be friendly, and we need to be proactive. All right. Now, being proactive, on my notes, I wrote down something that jumped out to me when I was preparing for this. Being proactive, I'm really guilty of this one. I need to be more consistent on social media, and there's really no excuse for it. I'm just not a big social media person, so I struggle with content. All right. There's a lot of content out there, But one thing that I did read, which makes sense, is that we want to give our customers the answers before they come and ask us, right? Because you want them to watch your content and go, I was just thinking about that, and she talked about that. I need to go check her out. All right. So think about that when you're making your content. What questions are you answering for your customer? What need does your product fill? All right. All right. Good customer service. And let me see you all jump in the comments on this one. Let me see a one in the chat if you think that good customer service or excellent customer service is a investment in your business. You think that's an investment in your business? If you always provide good customer service to everyone, doesn't matter whether they purchase from you or not. Let me see a one in the chat. My mods are going crazy right now with the ones. But do you think that that is something that is a long-term investment in your business? All right. I got a bunch of ones, and Jayla said it is a huge investment. All right. Do I have any comments on Instagram that I need to answer? All right, let me know in the chat. All right, but yes, it is a huge investment because first impression is the best impression, and people remember you. I have some customers. I have one customer. Let me give you an example. She has been following me since I first started when I was doing direct sales for another candle company, and she is still one of my best customers today. And she is my oldest customer. And actually, I'm glad that I mentioned her because I need to send her box. I send her a box or something every year. All right. So customer service is key. Your customers are going to remember how you made them feel. And how many of you were having or have had the worst day and you've had to pull out an event, and of course you in the back of your mind you're like, oh, I hope that this event is slow, and it turned out to be really busy. You were extremely busy, had a lot of traffic, and you forgot all about the bad day that you had, at least for a while you were there, and you're rocking and rolling and meeting customers and wheeling and dealing. It gives you good vibes and it made you feel better because your customers never know what it is or how it is that you feel in the background. We all have those days where we have to push through, right? So we definitely want to provide that customer service. All right. Even if we don't know, is it okay to say, you know what? I'm not sure, but let me get back to you. Is it okay to say that? Or are you just going to say, I don't know, and you're just going to have to get somebody else to do it? Right. So think about that because that person is going to remember how you treated them, especially if you sell custom items. What are they going to do? They're going to go get somebody else to do it. Just like you said, it's all about attitudes, right? All right. And Abba says, I know how I feel when I receive great customer service from a company. Absolutely. Absolutely. And companies that treat you great, you tend to stay with them for long term, for that often begins a relationship of many years. However, unfortunately, now that we are in the world with the internet and social media, that warm and fuzzy feeling and greetings are not there unless you are in person. Because I hate it, even though I'm an IT person, I hate it when I call somewhere and you have the auto dialer, you have the auto menus where you don't have a real person and you need to talk to somebody. You don't have a lot of time and you're sitting up there punching your phone for all these different. You're up here like, I just want to talk to somebody right now, for all the different menus. So they've kind of gotten away from the customer service. And a lot of people are really concerned about that with AI too. Is AI going to take place of humans? But a computer can never take a place of a human. So always remember that. Somebody has to fix the computers when they break down. All right. How about this? This is a good one. All right. So we talked about why, or the different things to do about why customer service is important. So how about this? We were making the investment, right? Here's a couple reasons why your investment that you're making for your business is good. Are customers more than likely to do business with you again? Are they going to keep you in mind when they have those big events, when they need gifts, or whatever the case may be? If you are a supplier that is watching me, am I going to remember how you treated me as a candle maker when I have a huge event? Am I going to come back and shop with you? Yes, I am. Because that customer service that you gave me when I was just looking, when I was just window shopping, I remember. That is something that every single person within the sound of my voice or that watches this video needs to remember. Even on your worst day, you better go into acting when you're dealing with a potential or current customer. They will remember that. All right. How about this one? Customers are more likely to recommend your business to someone else. You know the old saying, if somebody has a bad experience, they're going to tell 10 people, but if they have a good experience, they're going to tell two. How about you make it to where they have a good experience every single time so that everybody is going to come check you out, especially if you offer something unique. All right. Again, it's all about the mindset, and this is business. People are like, well, it's my business, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't work for somebody else. I don't punch a clock. But really, you do, because you're working for yourself. And your business is your future, at least for mine anyway. All right. You want to make sure that you are treating each and every person and customer that you come across with the utmost professionalism and respect, even if you don't feel like being bothered. Just turn away and make faces, right? We all do it. We're all guilty of it. But make sure they don't see you. All right. So people are going to come back and shop with you. People are recommending others to you, right? So they're trusting you. They built that trust. How about this? Can customer service help you build your brand? If you've got excellent customer service, you're doing everything right, everybody has that warm and fuzzy feeling. Can you build a brand off of customer service? Can you do that? Do you think that they will remember that excellent customer service? I'm sending all my folks to you. And what happens with your brand? Can that make or break your brand? By your customer service? Consistent customer service, that is. All right, let me see a 2 in the chat for that one if you agree with me on that one. Excellent customer service can make or break your brand. All right, so while I'm waiting for a response on that, let's talk about this. Customer service can help you improve your bottom line. Customer service can help you improve your bottom line. Companies that provide excellent customer service can improve their bottom line by up to 10%. Why? Because the customers are more likely to do business with companies that provide excellent customer service. Do you all agree with that? They remember the experience that they have with you. So when you add new products, when you put something a sale out there or whatever the case may be, your tried and true customers they're gonna buy regardless. They trust you. And especially if you've been a maker for many years, I'm sure we all have customers that try everything we put out. They don't even know what it is, but they buy it just because you put it out and you're their favorite soap maker, candle maker, or whatever type of business that you have, because this is standard for all small businesses, right? All right. So how about this? This is something I saw on the internet, and this is so true. If you're a maker, it is important to make customer service a priority. By providing excellent customer service, you can build customer loyalty and attract new customers to grow your business. All right, do you all agree with that? Let me know. What's your feedback on that? Does anybody have anything that they want to put out there in the chat before I keep going? How do you all feel about customer service? Do you feel like customer service is key for your business? Do you like to get out there with your customers and truly listen to their feedback? How many of you all have surveys and you ask for the feedback and you don't get upset when you have that feedback? How many of you actually do that? And if you don't, I strongly suggest that you do, because your feedback is key. How many of you get feedback from your customers and that helps you improve your products? I do, because we're still learning, we're still growing. There's always all this new technology and new materials and supplies that come out that we want to try, and everything always doesn't work for everybody. If you think about it, I may have success with it and you don't, or vice versa. So we need that customer feedback. All right. Jayla says, I need to do more surveys. All right. So, something for feedback to think about if you have time: handwritten notes. Those go a long, long way. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and two of the individuals are not on tonight. But Abba, I wanted to say thank you. Um, Abba sent me something 2 years ago before I moved, and I finally opened it and put it in my office. And she put a thank you note in there, and I still have that. And I got two other things that I opened from a couple years ago. Um, and also, Jayla sends me stuff. Courtney, Robert, everybody that I've ordered from, they all send thank you notes, and I keep those. Even from those that I know, I keep them. I have a board that I put them on. So it's definitely appreciated for the handwritten notes. So let's look at what Miss Rose said. And she said, what are your thoughts on setting expectations that are limited time only? Really means a limited time only, and not bringing an item back due to demand. Ooh, that's a good one. Well, for me, Rose, I am the queen of limited runs. When it's out, it's out. There's no refunds, there's no returns, because again, you set the expectation up front. And just because you changed your mind doesn't mean that we as a company changed your mind. And I get what she's saying, because that could be a sticky situation. But again, as she stated, limited time means limited time. All right, that's my feedback on it. So we can talk about that in the chat, of course, Rose. Let's see what Courtney says. I never thought about doing surveys, but I will definitely look into it. Absolutely. There's a couple, especially if you use some of the bigger website platforms, they send them automatically, and that's probably why you don't even think about it, because it's automatic. I love doing handwritten notes. Absolutely, I try to do one every time I can. All right, let's see here. What are your thoughts on setting the expectation that an item will only be in a specific color, fragrance, and not budging on the parameters you have set? You know what, Rose? I am glad that you asked that question. For those of you that don't know, I'm gonna use myself for this one, Rose. I am a glitter candle maker. So a lot of people, I'll offer something. Just for an example, I'll offer something in black. Well, I want it in red. And I always tell people, this is only offered in this color. I don't, and for me, Rose, on the website, I don't even put up a variation, and I just stick to my guns, because if I make this red one for you, and I make a whole, so if I do a run of red ones, for example, and I only did it in black, what if nobody else buys it? Then I'm stuck with that property, Lord have mercy. I am stuck with that product. All right, so that's me. Again, I, just as Rose said, I make it known this is a limited run, or this is something custom. And Rose, for me, what I started doing when they want something custom like that, either A, I'll have them prepay for it. Like, I don't have a problem making it for you, but you're going to pay for it, and they pay whatever price that I said. I don't offer it the same as if it was pre-made. I started doing that a lot, because I'll make something in a specific color and somebody will ask me for it, and then either A, they don't buy it, or B, nobody else wants that color because it's a weird color that they asked for. I know in your situation it's a little bit different, because you do blending, and you offer classes. So might have to put out a policy on that. I notice a lot of people going to that, Rose, as well. I notice a lot of people doing that. They're changing their policies. All right, let me see. And that's an excellent, excellent question. All right, let me see what other comments I had. I think that's it that I had for the comments. So, one thing that I had for discussion, this goes along with setting customer expectations. So, we've talked about our customers that are loyal, right? They follow us, they buy whatever, doesn't matter what we do, they're going to support us, doesn't matter, right? So, how about, or have you thought about starting a loyalty program for those customers? Does anybody have a loyalty program that you do for your customers? And if so, is it something that you want to share? If not, that might be something that you do. Like some people do, you always get a free gift with purchase, but your loyal customers, they actually get something different. All right, so let's see here. Okay, hold on. I got some more comments here. This one's from Rose, and then Courtney, I'll get to you, and I believe Jayla. How do you get around when someone wants a specific a design, you turn them down due to not wanting to set a false standard? Like, oh yes, yes, ma'am. I've had this situation. Someone wants crimson and cream, but you know that is a Greek life color set. I actually had someone who wanted me to do I'm not going to say the sorority, but they wanted me to do the sorority um, emblem or logo, and I wouldn't do it. I don't have a problem doing the colors, but there are parameters if and what Rose is referring to when you get into different licensing and things like that. And Greek life is definitely about that. If they see it, they can, and in some cases they will sue you depending upon what the item is. But unfortunately, Rose, in that situation for me, I turned them down because I was not even going to get the supplies and do all of that because I just my mom used to work for a sorority for the president and for 5 years, so I know better. But unfortunately, I had to turn it down, Rose, to answer your question. And I've turned down a lot of stuff if it doesn't agree. All right. Let's see. Courtney and Jayla are talking back and forth about a website. Jayla says that Jayla and Courtney have loyalty programs. Jayla does handwritten notes to repeat customers. Courtney says she uses the Smile app on Shopify so they can collect points to use towards purchases. Okay, I need to check that out myself. So, the Smile app on Shopify, different people do various loyalty programs. If you have Shopify or Wix, they do have loyalty programs built in. Um, Rose says, I do give someone their own discount code to share once they have purchased from me after their fifth purchase. Okay, so that's one of those things that you can build towards. I love it. Jayla says she needs to figure out what add ons she can use on her website. Okay, so that's where Jayla and Courtney were talking back and forth. Okay. All right. All right. So something to think about. But let's talk about what it takes to start a loyalty program. First of all, can you do a free loyalty program? Free to you, that is. Is it something that you have to pay for? What do you think? And in the world of the internet, you all know, because Courtney and Jayla were talking about that. No, and Rose just talked about that as well. All right, you don't have to do something that is this big production. It can be something free. All right, so here are some suggestions for you. And this is based upon your business. You don't want to do anything that is a big production. All right, the first one, Points-based programs. Customers earn points for every dollar they spend, which can be redeemed for rewards. All right, so points based. Rose mentioned her program where they buy so many orders. Courtney mentioned her program through the Smile app. So that's how most people do. It just depends. The next one is our tiered programs. Customers are assigned to different tiers based on their spending. Each tier offers different rewards. I like that one too. We spoke about this one a little bit earlier. How about a referral program? Customers earn rewards for referring their friends and family to your business. That's good, especially during the holiday. Customers love when they can refer and they get something out of the deal as well. All right. And the last one that is here, and I'm going to add another one after this, is combination programs. Combine two or more of the above programs that I just read to create a more comprehensive loyalty program. So when you offer a loyalty program, are you stuck in what you offer? You can combine or do as much as you want to, which is really good during the holidays. And the one that I was going to add was affiliate marketing. Is that not what affiliate marketing is? You'll get a code if you refer somebody over to that business. So that is really big. Now, I'm not into affiliate marketing right now, um, but that is an option for those that want to do the codes and do affiliate marketing. That's a good way to get more customers as well. All right. Now, with your loyalty program, once you decide on what type of loyalty program that you have, you've got to set your goals. What is your goal and what do you want to achieve when you start your program, right? You want to increase your sales? Is like what's your goal? Customer service? What exactly are you trying to do and accomplish with your loyalty program? And I recommend that you write this stuff down because it's easier if you're looking at it that way. And of course, once you put pen to paper, you write it to ignite it, right? Everybody should know that saying by now. And then you choose your rewards. What are you going to offer your customers? Like I said, I have one particular customer that every year she gets a box from me and it arrives at random and she never knows what's going to be in it. And like I said, she's been my customer since I started with another company back in 2012. So she loves it now because she never knows what she's going to get. All right. And how about the rules? Set your rules for how is your program going to work? What are your rules? What are your qualifications? Again, your terms and conditions for that program. If you have a website, make sure that you put them under your policies. Most people are not going to pay attention to it, but you want to make sure that you have your reward program policies listed. All right. How about the thing that I struggle with the most already with my business? So here we go with something else, right? For marketing and promotion. Promote your program. Add it into your marketing plan because how are people going to know that you offer this amazing program that you've set up if you don't tell people, if you don't promote it, right? And then, of course, as you always hear me say, encourage them to share it with their networks. And by the way, share this video and like and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. All right. How about this? For those of you that are into data, track your results. See what works and doesn't work. All right. Do some adjustments there and see what works for you. Are you all finding this information useful of what we're talking about today for customer service? Do you all like topics like this? What's your feedback? All right, and then the last topic that I had as far as that goes about your loyalty program is make sure that you get the feedback from your customer. And there is a program, Courtney, for you. Judge me for Shopify, and they do have a free program. It's an app, but they do have a free plan. It's been amazing feedback for me. Thank you to Courtney and Jayla. This was actually Rose's topic, so I can't take all the credit for that. All right, and you can tweak it, Courtney, because they Judge Me has added some new things. You can tweak it. They'll do your emails for you, everything, and it's a free program. I just really recently started making use of it. All right, so that is all that I had. I try to keep it very basic. All right. And Rose Courtney says, great idea, which it is. And these type of topics apply to all businesses, not just candle and soap makers. All right. So one of the things and a couple things that I wanted to update you all on. Don't forget the fragrance room. It is the last Wednesday of every month where we talk about anything and everything that has to do with fragrance. It's not just the blends. All right. I don't know what we're going to talk about this month yet. I got a couple things I need to get with some people in the background and see what we can come up with. But the fragrance table is where we talk anything and everything fragrance. It is the last Wednesday of the month. All right. If you are following me on TikTok, I am very, very strongly considering. I got to see if I can convince my mods for this because it'll be a much larger group. I am strongly considering doing a version of the podcast over on TikTok. I have recently been blessed with over 1,200 followers over there, and I've been trying to connect them here, just like I did Instagram. So, shout out to those of you that are watching me on Instagram. But I'm not able to do that right now until I get 3,000 followers. So, can you all please help me get to 3,000 followers on TikTok so I can add the TikTok audience to this podcast? But until then, I am very strongly considering doing this again over on TikTok because I have really met some amazing people this past week from all over the world. And we also have a community group on Facebook. And if you can, do me a favor and please follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. It is Bubbles and Flames podcast. And flames, so Bubbles and Flames are with the Z. And share it with your network because we are trying to grow the podcast. So last week we were talking about fragrances. Does anybody, and you can DM me this information if you want to, or you can put it down in the comments. Do you have anything that you would like to talk about regarding fragrances? So while I'm getting together for the end of this month, for the end of June, getting the episode together, we can talk about that and we can add that in for that discussion. And then another question I had is, are you all ready to do a question and answer, a Q&A? All right, whether it's soap making, whether it is candles, whether it is body products, what do you all think? Because it's about time for us to switch over to some soap topics. And I wanted to make sure that everybody's needs are getting met that watches this this podcast. All right, I want to make sure because you all are my customers, and I want to make sure that I continue to get the feedback and the suggestions. And it is almost time for another giveaway. I'm not going to give you the details yet because I haven't met my milestone that I set. And doing the giveaways is my way of giving back. That's kind of my loyalty program for this podcast. So see, it doesn't matter what you do. You have your set of customers and you've got to make sure that your customers give you that feedback, right? So for the purposes of this podcast, you all are my customers. So see, that's another example. Works quite different from the product-based business, right? All right. So it is 8:46 and we have just a few minutes left. Does anybody have anything that they want to say, that they want to add? And I do have a website coming for the podcast. It's on the way. It's being built because we've got a lot of things that we have to add to it. I have not forgotten, but there's a lot of things we need to add to it. The destashing, etc. All right, so I have not forgotten. The website is being built. So to my mods out there in YouTube land, do you ladies and gentlemen have anything that you would like to add? And I will, I'm not going to call her out per se, but I am going to call her out. Miss Rose, I hope that you are feeling better. And thank you for hanging out and giving me this topic this evening. And how's business going? If you all don't know, um, the Chandler's Rose, she is the one who gives a lot of the blends between Courtney, who is another mod from Love You Bunches Candle Co., also Rob from Dapper Guru, but Rose is the primary person who contributes to the more complex and exotic blends. So I wanted to definitely give her a shout out, and make sure you go check her out because she does offer classes as well. Okay, good. I'm glad to see that you're on the mend. All right. Anything from my mods? Abba, I hope that you're doing well. And also out to Courtney and Jayla and anybody that is in the comments. I'm just responding to who I see commenting. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So, the Chandler's Rose, if you haven't checked out her site, you should. She's got everything from just information, just FYIs, she does have free educational information. And then she also has these things, and I love them. She gives a fragrance, and she gives what it blends well with. For example, I believe she has one out there that's called strawberry, right? And then she has blends well with. And don't quote me on the price, but I think they're $9 or $10. It might not be that much, but if you are new to blending, definitely check that out. All right. Here is a question from Abba. So I wanted to make sure that you all knew that before I go to Abba's question. And now she has added tier one and tier two. So she's got some amazing, amazing classes over there. I hope to take her class one day as well, or classes, to get deeper into blending. She comes with a lot of exotic fragrances. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. Blends Best with Peach will be posted on the website this month also. Can you do me a favor, Rose, and drop your website link in the chat for me? And Abba had a question. And Rose, thank you for that information. Does anybody use chatbots on the website? If you do, and even if you're watching a replay, if you could drop that information in the comments. And Abba, some people, believe it or not, depending upon what you use, whether you use Shopify, Wix, those little messengers that pop up, I can help you a limited response for the chat bot. It depends on what your question is. So hit me up offline. And Rose has dropped her website. All right, and I have it up on the screen as well. But definitely check her out. All right. If you have any blending questions, I am not the blend queen that it appears that I am. I have a whole team behind me that helps me out with those recipes. And if you haven't checked out the recipe episodes, check out episodes. Start with number 8, because that's the basics, and then jump to episodes 13, 14. I'm sorry, 12, 13, and 14, and episode 18 last week while they're still posted. We gave away well over 300 and some odd recipes. All right, so definitely check that out. And you should be looking at your fall products, even though we just started summer. You should be thinking about your fall and holiday blends. Yes, already. Already. Also, keep an eye on your suppliers because a lot of them do Christmas in July. Good time to grab good time to grab some of your supplies that you need. All right. Yep, Abba, hit me up offline if you have more detailed questions. I can probably help you with that. All right. Courtney said I'm good. Chandler's Rose just posted her website. Abba just answered me. Miss Jayla, congratulations on the award that you received. If you're not following Jayla, you should. The Self-Esteem Queen. She is now getting the recognition that is well deserved. And she has Jayla actually uses her candles to fund her nonprofit foundation. So check her out on TikTok and also IG to find out more information. She's another one of my amazing mods, but I wanted to congratulate her publicly on the award that she just received on Saturday for her work. All right. Well, that is it for me. What did you all think? Did you learn something from customer service? Because everybody does customer service, but it's how deep do you want to take it? Should we do uh, a second session that's a little bit more deeper on customer service? And we can talk about ways to handle returns and refunds, and then we can also have a deeper conversation about some of the questions that Rose brought up on how to handle difficult classes. Excuse me, difficult customers. Definitely, because we all have them, right? And then we have those customers that are, that are absolutely trying to get something for free. So if you all like, we can do part 2 next week. If you're okay with that, put a 3 in the chat for me, and we will talk about the negative side of customer service and how to remain professional and different things that you can do to adjust your policies. I just need time to do my research. All right, so Abba says yes. And I know Rose will say yes because she asked the questions. And Courtney said yes, so it is done. We will do a part 2 next week, next Wednesday. So join us here at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Bubbles and Flames podcast. Whether you tune in via Instagram or Facebook or YouTube itself, I appreciate everybody that is out there. And Rose said yes, so it is done. All the mods have checked in and said yes. All right, so I hope to see you back here next week. And don't forget to please do me a favor, share the podcast with all of your friends and all of your business associates in the candle and soap and body space, beauty space, that is. You'll see more episodes coming about that as well for those niches out there. We're going to start adding more content on that into the podcast. And also, if you could follow us on social media and look for us over on TikTok, because I'll be doing this again. And there is quite the audience over there. So I am actually excited about that. All right. So, with that, I will wish everybody to have an amazing, amazing week. And I hope to see you all back right here next Wednesday. All right. And with that, I will say good night. And everybody have a good night, excuse me. All right. Talk to you soon.